Available now at Cavenders and Cavenders.com.
Kyle Field, College Station, Texas, one of the best venues in America. And the Kansas Jayhawks making their way out for their final road game of the season as the Yell Leaders lead the way for the Aggies. Let's head in now and check with Jim Knotts. Knottsy.
Coach, last week you ran the ball close to 300 yards, 64 carries. How do you do it today? How do you score more points than the Aggies, get that ball in the end zone?
Well, we got to keep being confident, believing what we're doing right here. We got to get body on body. We got to stay on contact with our offensive line. Got to control the line of scrimmage.
What'd you tell the team right before you took the field?
Believe, baby. Just keep believing and keep playing.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Beautiful day. Wind gusting and a lot more than 15 miles per hour, as you can see, at 77 degrees. Back downstairs to a busy Jim Knotts. Knottsy.
All right, Mr. President, I talked to you time in and time out. I got to ask your prediction on today's game. Can Texas A&M end a 3-game losing streak?
We'll beat Kansas. We'll beat them, and it'll be about 38-12.
All right, we'll hold you to it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. He likes the Aggies by just 26.
You gotta love College Station, right?
Jayhawks are going to get it first. The Aggies won the toss as a record-setting place kicker. Randy Bullock will tee it up over to the near side. It is James Sims. This is on the 11th game between these two teams. And when you consider that Kansas only played 122 years of college football, not many matchups. Last win for the Jayhawks right here at Kyle Field back in 2007, and we are underway. Sims side, will he bring it back? No, over his head. So here comes Jordan Webb, the sophomore from Union, Missouri. And he will lead the Jayhawks offense out there. Not a big guy at 6', 195 pounds, but he's got a nice anchor in the middle, Joel.
He sure does. The leader of the offense is the center, Jeremiah Hatch. He's a terrific player. A tight end, Tim Beery, a game-time decision. Saw him before the game, hobbled by an ankle injury. Be interested to see how he comes out early in this ball game.
He'll have Sims in the backfield, who will alternate snaps, along with Darian Miller, a true freshman for the Jayhawks. Little bunch formation. Man, it's Sims over the left side. Cracks it for about 4 against a Texas A&M defense that, well, it's given up a lot of points and a lot of yards this year.
It has, but Tony Jared-Eddy has got to play well against this stiff run offense from Kansas. In the back end, Sean Porter, the linebacker, leads the Big 12 in sacks. And then Lionel Smith playing for the injured Coriel Judy. Coriel Judy, the best defender in the back end for Texas A&M.
Take it one way, go back the other way. The possession guy, Kyle Pick, is belted. And he is dropped immediately. Getting it over there. Yeah, it was Matt Sherman. Or check that. And now our Coors Light game plan.
Offense is defense for the Kansas Jayhawks. Keep your offense on the field. Ryan Tannehill on the opposing sideline. And then the youth movement. 71 players for this Kansas team are either true freshmen, redshirt freshmen, or sophomores.
It's a Wildcat action. They've got Sims in at quarterback. Flanked by Miller. And did Miller get to the marker? More than enough. Past the 35. So both were in there, and Miller is coming off a career best 147 for the Jayhawks last week, the most by a freshman since June Henley way back in 1992.
I really love the wrinkle in the offense there to go with the Wildcat offense, create some room, and then a nice north-south run from the true freshman.
Spread them out with 2 to each side. Looking for the screen. Nothing doing. Getting there first, it was Jonathan Stewart. Also in on that stop. Well, Stewart was the first one there. And the key at the bottom of the pile.
Good recognition from Stewart on that screen pass to come up and fight through the blocks of the offensive lineman to get that tackle.
So it's going to be no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Kansas coming in, winless in the Big 12. They're 2-8 overall. They've got Missouri at Arrowhead next week. Miller bending into the boundary. Not much real estate there. Maybe a yard at the most. So he's forced out there. by Frederick. Man, our Geico quote from their free safety. Well, you back somebody into a corner, they're going to be willing to fight. And that's what it's going to be this weekend, a fight here at College Station, because they've lost 3 in a row.
Well, and you're going to get 60-plus snaps of run football from the Kansas Jayhawks. They did it a week ago against Baylor. This is smash-mouth football from Kansas. Texas A&M is going to have to buckle up those chin straps.
It'll be 3rd and long. Looking at his back, and it's almost picked off. He wanted to get it to his back in the flat. It did not work, going in the direction of Rel Lewis.
Rel Lewis did not break to the outside like his quarterback Jordan Webb thought he was going to. Green grass on the outside, and a young player in Jordan Webb, just a sophomore, not on the same page as his senior wide receiver.
Back deep for the Aggies, Dustin Harris, their defensive back, at about the 25. Waiting for a high snap on Doherty. Did a good job. Now into the wind, Harris from the 23. Got a lane. And now another block or two. He's across the midfield stripe, and a great return. He made the first guy miss, and then he got some key blocks.
And the punter, Ron Doherty, is the one that saved the touchdown. Good hustle from the punter there, sophomore from Klein, Texas. But Harris was phenomenal on this return. It starts with going to that first right move. He gets the defense to commit. The punt team there from Kansas, and then he takes off around the left side. That's good decision making from the punt returner Harris to find the green grass and then be decisive enough to take it and go.
35 yards on the return. Cyrus Gray. Instead, it's going to be a pass to Swope. Man, on the little kick out screen, a lot of running for about 7, almost 8 yards for the 6th best in yards offensive unit in the nation, led by Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback, a big guy at that, the former wide receiver, and a Bowie is the right guard who has played a couple of positions on the line.
Very good player up front, the right guard. And then Ryan Swope, we just saw him on the first play. 3 catches, now 2 catches away from breaking his own Texas A&M single-season record, Joel, with 72 catches. He's got 70 now on the season.
And talking about record setters, there's Cyrus Gray, came in 49 yards away, as you mentioned, at the top of the telecast, from 1,000.
This offense, one of the most prolific offenses in the country, in the top 20 in basically every major category.
Turf toe for Jeff Fuller, so they don't know the extent of his availability today. He did not start, though. It's Gray again. Huge hole to the right side. Into the secondary and into the end zone. Touchdown A&M. Took a long time, didn't it?
It did. Here's the seam along the right side. Watch this young offensive line. That's a Bowie as well as Jake Matthews. 70 and 75, creating the big seam along the right side of the line of scrimmage. What a terrific block. And then you got to credit Cyrus Gray with breaking that last tackle to get in the end zone.
Bullock for the point after. Well, the Jayhawks are going to get it right back, aren't they? 3 plays, 56 seconds, and a 42-yard drive with Gray traveling in the last 30. So a deficit for Turner Gill and his underdog Jayhawks when we come back to Kyle Field. Big start for Gray on what could be a record-setting day.
We're good at tailgating, but to be great, well, you need a little coaching.
That's where I come in. Coach, are we running super cold activation today? Always, Gary. Only Coors Light tells you when your beer goes from cold to super cold. Frost brewed on 3. 1, 2, 3. Frost brewed. Ice down those Coors Lights, baby. Ice.
When it comes to big refreshment, we could all use a little coaching.
Nice crossing pattern, Randy.
We're tailgating at the next level.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer.
A little help, guys.
No matter what team you're rooting for, your favorite lineup is always your family. So when you add a new member to your team, you want to make sure they're covered with the rest of your loved ones. Woodman of the World's Family Term Life Insurance offers protection that changes with your family. The size of your family may grow, but that won't increase your monthly premium, which is great news for you and your growing team. Woodman of the World, with you through life.
Are you picking the right place for fine medical care? For outstanding orthopedic care of the hand, arm, and shoulder, patients come to Brown Hand Center from across America and around the world. Their surgeons treat all bone and joint problems, sports injuries, broken bones, and arthritic joints. The mission? Restoring maximal function to your injured hand, arm, or joint. Brown Hand Center. The right treatment, the right place. At your service 24/7. Call for an appointment today.
The new satellite with Sleep and Charge and Resolution Plus. If we don't include the Impact Smart hard drive, we can ship today.
No. That satellite has to have an Impact Smart hard drive.
The all-new Toshiba Satellite series. We thought of everything.
Big 12 College Football Saturday is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Also brought to you in part by Frostbrewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Sprint, all football. No limits, only from Sprint. It was a sprint to the goal line for Cyrus Gray. So what a start for him. He's only 14 yards away from 49 for the day, and we're not 4 minutes into the game. And I bring that up because that would make him only the third Aggie back in school history for back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Delta scoring drive was a long, arduous one.
Those are the type the quarterback absolutely loves. He threw one pass to Swope, handed it off twice, and he's up 7-0.
There's a real good breeze downwind right now for Randy Bullock. He needs one field goal to tie the single season mark for field goals for an Aggie.
That's why this series is so important for Kansas, not necessarily in terms of points, but time of possession. They've got to keep their defense on the sidelines, and Ryan Tannehill and Cyrus Gray on their sidelines as well. Important drive right now for Kansas.
Shears is not playing in the first quarter. If you're wondering why he's not back, he violated the team rules, so not playing in the first quarter, and that's why Sims is back there with Brian Moore, the wide receiver. Our Whataburger. What a play. And what a start.
It was right back to the touchdown. Cyrus Gray, just a simple off-tackle zone play for the Aggies. Gets great blocking up front from Abuhi and Matthews. See number 70 right there. Maybe gets away a little hold, but who doesn't in the game of football? And Cyrus Gray breaks the tackle, finds himself in the end zone.
So now the Jayhawks back on the field offensively, a lot quicker than they wanted to be. They'll have it their own 20 for the second consecutive time. And Webb working out of the gun. It's almost like that pistol look we've seen with a number of teams, Joel. Kyle Peck gets a nice block on the outside. A.J. Stewart, but a good recovery as well. So it's only a gain of 3 for their possession guy, a junior from Dodge City, Kansas.
Well, you saw right there why the pistol is becoming more prevalent is because you can get more of a downhill fake on play-action pass, which Kansas did on the last play. You turn around, fake that run, it opens up the outside on the screens like Kansas attempted to do.
Shift the tight end Stewart over to the short side of the field. And we've got a false start.
Number 67, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's the guard, Zlatnik. Well, Kansas averaging just 25 points a game. And the problem is that they're giving up 44 a contest. They're just not keeping pace offensively with the opposition. You can put too much pressure on your defense.
A very young club trying to work their way through some growing pains right now. Penalties are a part of that equation.
Back at the 17 was their movement once again.
False start. Number 72, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
This is the noisy end of the field. Remember, the north side of Kyle Field, as you see just a little bit of a flinch on the right side of the offensive line. Very tough to communicate, very tough to do anything as far as audibles or check the offensive play at the line of scrimmage. Already 2 false starts in a row.
A little slight fake on the delay. And a good bullet. But the wideout is ripped down. Christian Matthews, the sophomore from outside of Dallas, Arlington, Texas. He's put down by Jonathan Stewart immediately.
Because of the crowd noise, Joel, it's imperative that as a quarterback you manage that. This is part of managing the game. Go on a silent snap count. Go on one. Don't throw your offensive lineman any curveballs, especially in an obvious passing situation on 3rd and 14.
Long count. Only a 3-man rush. Plenty of time and a first down. It's complete. Going up to Matthews once again. A big guy at about 6'2", 195. Pulled it off in front of Dustin Harris.
This is a perfect fade route going into cover 2, and then he drops it right into the hole. Watch this throw right in front of the safety, not taking the wide receiver down the field, but stopping him in front of the safety, moving the chains. Terrific throw from Jordan Webb.
And about 6 inches from stepping out of bounds before he got to it. So a break for the Jayhawks, and they'll take it at their own 34. They'll run Miller. And it won't work. There's the Wildcat once again, and a good push up front negates that. A loss of about 4 as it was Ben Bass in the backfield. 1st and 10 line, all brought to you by Mazdas. We welcome you to Kyle Field, College Station, Texas. Joel Myers, Joel Klatt, and Jim Knox. A busy Jim Knox before the start of today's game. Talking to our former president, a 38-12 win. That's what he's predicted. He's a very objective opinion when it comes to the Aggies. Ton of time. Not much there. No. Caught it out of bounds. Matthews. Foot went down out of bounds first. So 64 on the ground last week. That's 64 carries for the Jayhawks in their 1-point loss, the most since 1992. I asked their offensive coordinator Chuck Long about it, and he laughed. He goes, you know, you play to your personnel.
Yeah, you got to stick with your strength, but right now they're throwing the football. That could be because Texas A&M 119th in the country as far as pass defense is concerned.
It'll be 3rd and long again, about 14. They just negotiated 14 the last time. And on the little crossover the middle, it's complete. Boy, the line is doing a good job. Granted, it's only a 3-man rush, but still lanes to throw, and it's Kyle Pick on the reception.
Watch the pocket form for Jordan Webb. This is a terrific job of the Kansas offensive line of giving him an opportunity to step up and throw with confidence over the middle of the field. Nice job by the 5 guys up front.
Spread the D with 2 to each side. Kind of surprised by only 3 on the rush.
I am. I mean, that's their bread and butter, but again, that's what Texas A&M is going to give. 119th, like I said, they give up 308 yards of passing every single week. Texas A&M does. They've also faced the most passing attempts in the country this season. Coming into today's ball game, 414.
Yeah, they're missing Coriel Judy and Stephen Campbell. They're starting safety and cornerback, and this is the 5th straight game Judy has missed. So
they miss him a lot. Yes. He's a heck of a player.
About 3 for Sims on 1st down, and they give it right back. Great penetration. Boy, getting into the backfield. An outstanding play by Porter and Terrell.
Porter constantly in the backfield. Watch the top of your screen. That's where the Texas A&M Aggies are going to blitz from. Unblocked, 2 players. They're in there. They stop the run, and now they force another obvious passing situation at 3rd and 10. And remember, this is a team that gets to the quarterback. 2nd in the country, 2nd in the Big 12 as far as getting that quarterback down to the ground.
So now 3rd and a little more than 10. They've hit on 3 of their first 4 3rd down attempts. And it's going to be a timeout from the sideline. So that was called by Turner Gilman, his staff, over on the Jayhawk sideline in the first of the first half. Trailing early by 7. You can hear how gusty it is in the background. 6:44 to play. We'll be right back to Kyle Field.
The Champion Series brings the Titans of tennis to Fox Sports Net. See the legends lace them up in 12 one-night tournaments featuring world #1s Agassi, Sampras, McEnroe, Connors, Courier, and more. This is a phenomenal collection of talent and personality. Rivalries renewed.
Champion Series Tennis.
Champion Series Tennis.
Champion Series Tennis on Fox Sports Net.
On Fox Sports Net.
Big 12 football is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Whataburger, just like you like it.
A certified pre-owned BMW is a smart choice. But before the rigorous inspection, before the awards, and the critical acclaim, before all of this, first, it's a BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Hurry into your BMW Center today and take advantage of limited time offers.
Okay, you guys wanted a space for entertaining your friends, so open your eyes and check out your new living room.
Honey, the TV's over there.
Yeah, we got you the new AT&T Uverse wireless receiver, so you can put your TV pretty much anywhere you want. And that stand,
we could put it over there?
and that coffee.
We can put it on the patio for watching the game with the guys.
Or in the kitchen?
But these curtains
I can't believe
really...
you moved the TV. It's like a whole new living room.
It actually is a whole new living room.
The new wireless receiver, only from AT&T Uverse. Get Uverse for $29 a month for 6 months. AT&T.
It's that time of year again. Time to get a holiday deal on a Ram truck. A truck that'll pretty much haul anything. With a legendary Hemi engine that delivers 20 miles per gallon highway and a smooth ride. And while most families bring the tree to the house, Ram families bring the house to the tree. Get the year's best deals at the Ram Big Finish event.
During the Big Finish event, get $2,500 cash allowance on 2012 Ram heavy-duty models.
We welcome you back once again to Kyle Field in College Station, Texas. I grew up in this conference, went to school in this conference, and when one of the conference members hurts, we all hurt, and we all suffer. And that's the way we feel this weekend with the loss of Kurt Butke and Miranda Cerna, the head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowboys women's program, his assistant coach and recruiting coordinator, and we feel their loss across Big 12 country. So while on a sunny day in College Station, Texas, we get to watch college football and a good matchup between Kansas and Texas A&M. We are thinking of our friends in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and our best and our condolences to their respective families. It'll be a third and a little more than 10 out of the 46. Here comes the extra rusher, and he gets to Webb. It's on the ground. Webb gets it back. Boy, what a well-timed blitz by Trent Hunter.
That was a bit of a delayed blitz, which allowed Trent Hunter, who's coming from way over on the right side, and he starts to inch his way into the middle of the field, and then he took off from depth. Not the line of scrimmage, but from depth. And I don't think Jordan Webb ever really saw him coming. And that's why he was able to get in there and knock the football free.
And the snap into the end zone. And now Doherty wisely gives the 2 away as opposed to 6. So a safety. And from bad to worse for the Jayhawks. You only talk about the snapper when something like that happens. Tanner Gibbs, a true freshman from Covina, California, just a little bit too tall. Time out of the field, 9 on the board early with 6 to play in the first quarter for A&M.
It's time for what Texas A&M does best. Driving our service to Texas and the nation in research and discovery. Lifting us to the top of the list for corporate recruitment and jobs. Aggie spirit shines as we challenge and advance. Now, more than ever, it's time for Texas A&M.
Most 40-mile-per-gallon sedans are sentenced to a life of uninspired performance. Not this one. Meet the 2012 Mazda 3 with revolutionary SkyActiv technology. It's not the first 40-mile-per-gallon sedan. It's just the first one worth driving. We build Mazdas. What do you drive? Now get the Mazda 3 with 1.9% APR for 60 months.
So. The Maroon and White Collection.
Officially licensed Texas A&M jewelry from Collegiate Jewel. Available exclusively at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry, 401 University Drive East, College Station.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, guess what? I just got accepted to my dream college and I got LASIK. You know, with that new technology they're using, it only takes seconds to give me perfect vision.
I wear contacts. Why should I go through college wearing them when I could have LASIK?
It was so simple. I went in and had a free evaluation with Dr. Moore, and the next day I had it done. Even my parents thought it was a good investment.
Yeah, my parents spend a lot of money every year on my contacts and solutions.
You should do what I did and go to AggieLaces.com and schedule your free evaluation with Dr. Moore.
The Maroon and White Collection. Officially licensed Texas A&M jewelry from Collegiate Jewel. Available exclusively at Montelongo's Fine Jewelry, 401 University Drive East, College Station.
We are Blackmore. We are Houston.
The safety has certainly thrown us all off schedule, hasn't it? 9-0 A&M, and a full day of college football Saturday will continue. We head to Houston. SMU taking on the unbeaten Cougars. That is next on Fox. Central Florida, East Carolina to follow. And later tonight, Kansas State on FX in the college football game of the week. 13th ranked K-State, the surprise of the Big 12, taking on the Texas Longhorns. How about the year Case Keenum has put together? Efficient.
I'd say I saw him early. His first game of the year was UCLA, Joel, and he just looked confident. He looked relaxed, and that's the way he's played all season long. Hyper accurate with the football. He takes the shots when he needs to into the end zone. The thing that I love about it is that he's got some wide receivers out there that have stuck around with him as well. Patrick Edwards, a terrific older wide receiver, 74%, 37 touchdowns. If this guy's not in New York for that Heisman Trophy final ceremony, there's something wrong with college football because he definitely deserves it.
When is the last time you saw 37/3? That's wild.
I mean, I can't remember it.
Okay, take it easy over there. Take it easy. As a true freshman, there's plenty of snaps left in your Kansas career. That's the long snapper who put it over the head of the punter. Now it's going to be Dustin Harris. Back deep. As we get ready for the punt off the safety. He's back along with Terrence Frederick. And a wobble off the side of the foot, and out of bounds it goes. So great field position once again, as it's time now for Academy Sports and Outdoors Game Break with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. Guys.
Joe, senior day for the Michigan State Spartans, and they are off and rolling early against Indiana. Kirk Cousins, B.J. Cunningham at 17-0 Michigan State. Why is that important to show you? Because Michigan taking on Nebraska. Nebraska trying to keep pace with the Spartans, but they are down 10-0 to Michigan. Here's the deal, Joel. If Michigan State wins and Nebraska loses, Michigan State wins the Legends division.
Big day in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
Thank you, Kevin.
You got to love November. I mean,
Yes.
when these games start really meaning something, we saw that last night with Oklahoma State going down to Iowa State up in Ames.
Gray sets up with Nehemiah Hicks in the backfield. Go the other way to Ryan Swope. That's his 71st catch of the season, his second of the day, and it gets about 8 near the 42. Now defensively for the Jayhawks, Oporum, former running back, had 9 rushing touchdowns 2 years ago.
And he's an athlete. He's constantly in the backfield, but Steven Johnson is the Big 12 leader in tackles, 109 on the year. And then Greg Brown, he's going to play in the short side of the field, constantly in the backfield as well.
Gray needs 2. And he's right at the first down. They'll move the chains inside the 40. Our Coors Light game plan for the Aggies coming in.
Well, we've already seen that it's a great day. Cyrus Gray, he's going to set some records today. He already took off for a touchdown. Record setters on the outside, Jeff Fuller, Ryan Swope, Ryan Tannehill. Clearly offensively, they know what they're doing, and then they're very young and talented on the offensive line. We saw Abuhi already with a great block on the touchdown run.
Tannehill looks at Hicks, who makes the catch. Had a couple of drops last week in that quadruple overtime setback at Kansas State. And he's got it to the 35 for a gain of 5.
I like the way Ryan Tannehill pushes his front shoulder all the way to the throw spot. Watch how he gets that front shoulder all the way pointed so that he can throw the ball accurately as he's rolling to his left.
There's the 72nd catch for Swope. He had the single-season record last year with 72, along with Jeff Fuller, who's not playing so far today, so he's just tied his own record.
I love what A&M is doing right now. These are run plays. They're calling run plays, and Ryan Tannehill has the option, based on the defensive look, to just stand up and throw it out to Ryan Swope. Giving Ryan Tannehill the keys to the offense, let him make you right. He's doing that so far in this game.
He came here and felt like he was as good as the quarterbacks in front of him. But they had him at wide receiver, and he did well there. They need inches. And they've got a couple of yards from Cyrus Gray. Took a shot and a jolt from Darius Willis, the middle linebacker, with a sure-handed tackle, sophomore from Houston.
Also in there, Steven Johnson. Already mentioned it, 109 tackles on the season. Number 52 for Kansas. 6 tackles for loss, Big 12 leader.
Gary Sinise doing incredible work, and I'm talking about charity work. Now Cyrus Gray wide open over the middle. Swope, he's got the record, he's got the touchdown. Single season mark for Ryan Swope, his 73rd catch of the year, and does he ever do it in style?
Breaking your own record, and on a touchdown pass, no less. What a great throw, an even better route from Ryan Swope.
Bullock for the point after. Sun shining brightly now as it's broken through the clouds for the Aggies as they score again. 16 on the board already.
Swope just attacked the middle of the defense. That secondary spread way too wide, and what he was able to do was just get right inside the safety and beat him to the inside. Watch how the safety took a couple of steps to the left, allowed that free access lane right down the middle of the field. That's too easy for Texas A&M. And how about Ryan Tannehill? Happy for his teammates, setting records at Kyle Field.
The Texas A&M coming in trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Oklahoma State upset, and congratulations to Paul Rhodes at the same time, because Iowa State, an overachieving group once again, are bowl eligible.
Paul Rhodes is absolutely phenomenal. I will say the entire game, I was watching that game, and as happy as I was for Iowa State and Paul Rhodes, I was just sick to my stomach for Oklahoma State, not because of BCS title hopes, but because of what they were dealing with and trying to play that football game. Some think, and I'm in this crowd, Joel, that they shouldn't have even been on the field to begin with.
And our thoughts, I mentioned, our thoughts are with the families of all the Oklahoma State Cowboys, their staff, their athletics. Bullock kicks it away. It's going to be Sims taking it as it floated into the end zone. No momentum, and he stays right there. So the Jayhawks, third straight time, will have it at their own 20. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday, big day of regional activity. It starts with the Cowboys and the Redskins. Showdown between division rivals. Well, the coverage all really starts with the Bill Fort Tough Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific. So check your local listings for the games in your neighborhood. To the Jayhawks. Boy, the last drive, they didn't look bad. And then the snap over the head of the punter.
On the stat sheet, it's going to go down as a drive that went for minus 20 yards, but it was clearly a much better drive than that, moving all the way to about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, they got 2 first downs out of it. Webb swings it out. Yeah, not much available for Tony Pearson, a true freshman from East St. Louis, Illinois. And as he popped on the outside, it's Garrick Williams who got him. They have a package for him because they're not trying to give him too much at this point.
Well, he's the fastest player. He's probably the most dynamic offensive player that Kansas has, but he doesn't quite have the grasp of the offense yet, so you create packages for him, which we saw in the last play with just a little toss sweep. Now he's in that diamond position out on the outside.
It's a gain of about 2, almost 3, and it's popped into the air. Caught, believe it or not. It got over to Tony Pearson. What a jolt. And is Webb going to be okay as he's hit from behind by Moore? Boy, the shock factor.
Watch on the right side. Unblocked.
That's tough.
I mean, what a tough turn of events for Jordan Webb. That was clearly a breakdown in protection. No protection is ever designed to let a down lineman go free. So Kansas with a missed assignment up front. Jordan Webb pays the price. Tough kid, gets right up though, walks over to the sidelines. Let's hope he's okay.
Quinn Meekum, senior from Provo, Utah, is going to be taking over now. So he comes into the backfield, transfer from Snow Community College. Not a lot of opportunities this year playing behind Jordan Webb. Ben. They stop the play with a delay of game coming up.
Timeout, Kansas.
Well, Kansas got the timeout called before the back judge, who came up and said delay of game. They got it in from the sideline. So a jolt all the way around for the Jayhawks. They're down early, a deep deficit, and now a free shot on their quarterback as we head over to Jim Knox. Knoxy?
All right, Joe, right behind me, Jordan Webb. It looks like they're working on his ribs. They're asking him a few questions as well. Ribs right now, that seems to be what is bothering Jordan Webb. We'll see if he can get back in, guys.
Here's the shock factor of a blindside hit.
I was talking about how protection is designed. You can tell by where a quarterback's eyes go what the protection was supposed to be doing. If a quarterback is just standing up and looking right the entire way, his backside's always supposed to be protected. Always. You're supposed to slide the line that direction, send backs that direction. So clearly a missed assignment from Kansas. Jordan Webb paid the price.
Well, Demontre Moreau got him. Backed up Von Miller last season. So not a lot of reps for him last year. He's getting the opportunity now. Meekum, ton of time. And going deep down the sideline. It's wide of his intended target and out of bounds. So it was good coverage. Omiji was the intended target. The sophomore. And Lionel Smith on the coverage.
Tough to try to throw the ball down the field.
And
especially on a go route into the wind.
Right,
I mean,
tough
this is
wind
a pretty
day.
stiff breeze. I was down on the field before the game. Punters having trouble. Place kickers having trouble, and then the quarterbacks. Those are really the only three guys on the entire football team that care what the wind is doing on any given day.
Dustin Harris will wait for the punt from Doherty. And let's see what the snap is going to be. Give us with a much better one. And there we talked about the wind knocking it down completely. Fair catch called for. And Harris has it at the 46. Academy Sports and Outdoors game break times. We go to Kevin Frazier and Mark Casale.
Joel, Wisconsin controls their own destiny in the Leaders Division, taking on Illinois today. Somebody forgot to tell Donovan Young. Young, 2 touchdowns in this game, and the Fighting Illini up early on Wisconsin. Of course, Wisconsin has Penn State next week. Joel?
All right, thank you, Kevin. And Wisconsin, a couple of games you couldn't understand this year. One in particular of their 2 losses. But plenty of time left in that one. Nobody covers on the outside. Brandel Jackson. He's in there for Jeff Fuller, the junior from Navasota, just about 20 miles down the road.
This is great recognition from Ryan Tannehill, because Greg Brown, the corner into the short side, was blitzing. He was coming on a blitz, and Ryan Tannehill recognized it and got the ball out to the left side. See, as soon as he creeps in like that, he just takes the ball, bang, gets it out to his wide receiver. That's easy access.
Short side toss sweep. And big yardage. Cyrus Gray again. He's gone. Touchdown A&M. And he's over 1,000 yards rushing in the season.
You don't often see the toss sweep into the short side, but when you can block it that perfectly, where your running back, Cyrus Gray, does not get touched all the way into the end zone, why not? Easy touchdown. Cyrus Gray's second of the game.
I feel like I'm watching Baylor. These drives are so short. That was 2 plays, 54 yards. They already had a 3-play, 42-yard drive. 6-play drive that took only 2 minutes off the clock. So Cyrus Gray only the third running back in Texas A&M history. And happy birthday, Cyrus. It was his 22nd birthday yesterday, and boy, celebrating again.
Early in the game, this was his second carry of the game. Broke a tackle in the secondary and gets himself into the end zone. And then the toss sweep into the pound tree. Boy, the benefit of some great blocking on the outside. He doesn't have to face one Jayhawk on his scamper in on the left side. And now Cyrus Gray putting himself, just like we mentioned in the open, alongside some of the all-time greats here at Texas A&M. He's the A&M career leader in all-purpose yardage, third in Big 12 history, 3,281 rush yards, third all-time at A&M, and now just the third back in history to go over 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons.
And a small average today, 5 carries for just 77 yards. Jim Knox, what's going on?
All right, Joel, there is some good news for Kansas. Right behind me, Jordan Webb, number 2, about to go back in the game. The ribs A-OK. He's back in, guys.
All right, thank you, Jim. Well, that's good news, because that's like whiplash. You know it all too well.
Absolutely.
Sims near side, Mora far side. I think we've said that a few times. Only 13 minutes into this game.
Fast start. They had the wind, remember. That's played a factor. That punt, good field position every time the Aggies have touched the ball.
And remembers it is over the head of Sims. For the third time this season, coming off, they had a 17-0 lead early on Baylor, had a halftime lead last week at home on Baylor. So they Jayhawks had some momentum coming into this game.
Well, think about what they're fighting just with the elements today. Because of that wind, it is pretty stiff up there as far as blowing right to left on your screen. Kansas, they've started on average their own 20. Texas A&M started on the KU 48. I mean, that is terrific field position for an offense that is this prolific like the A&M Aggies are.
Well, it's been a short field all 3 times that A&M has had the football. 2 away to play. And they'll run it with Darian Miller. He's shot down. Hunter came up on the stop out of the secondary. It's a gain of about 2, maybe 3. Give him the 23-yard line.
I know Jordan Webb came into the game. He's jogging off. He's on the sidelines right now. They're trying to stick with this Wildcat package right now. Christian Matthews, number 12, a wide receiver, taking the snap as the quarterback.
He's kind of a dual guy. They have put him in that position before. And in the zone read, makes a nice move. Gets to the outside and gets a first down. So he's dragged down from behind and pushed down by Stephen Terrell. But they need to do anything they can now to generate something.
Smooth runner. Christian Matthews kind of gliding along, making some nice cuts. He's going to stay in the ball game as Jordan Webb stays over on the sidelines. And why not after that run?
Well, he had a touchdown last week on a run. That was his second of the season. It came against the Baylor Bears. 1st and 10 to the 33. Option short side. Tosses Pearson. And nothing doing. Short side wasn't available, was it? So Pearson knocks him. Well, his own man got in his way. Didn't help. And that's they can't get out of their own way right now.
Jeff Spikes, the left tackle, number 74, was in there trying to get a block, and Pearson just ran right into him. There wasn't an Aggie that actually touched him there. That's a product of being a true freshman, you know, impatience in the backfield, just running into your own guy.
Yeah, we talk about letting the player develop, not running yourself out of the play. Now, Webb's back there. And where does he go? The guy's making plays. Matthews, first down. Wheeling across the 45 to the 47. So he's got a lot of family, you got to believe. A 3-hour drive to Arlington, Texas.
Absolutely, and he's done a heck of a job already in this game. I like the way that he moves. I mentioned Christian Matthews, very smooth. District MVP in high school back in Arlington, Texas. 6'1", 194 pounds. Like the way he plays.
The 47. Run Pearson in motion. Give it off to the other back, Rel Lewis. So they're rotating a bunch of the backfield, trying to find any combination to work. It's a gain of 2. Dropped there by Spencer Nealing. And time running out on the first quarter. So Texas A&M trying to snap a 3-game slide, and so many of their losses close, like the quadruple overtime loss last week at Kansas State. Well, 15 minutes in, they like their position up by 23. You're watching Big 12 College Football Saturday, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my holiday list.
All at a great price, too.
Husband will love these.
For my wife.
My sister.
My son. I can get this from my uncle.
My dad needs this.
I guess that's everyone.
Just in case.
Wow them with Nike Shox Qualify 2 running shoes. Hot deal $59.99. And Garmin Auto GPS hot deal $139.99.
The right gifts, the low prices every day. Academy.
Is Brown Hand Center just right for the care of your hand, arm, or joint problems? They keep growing as nationally recognized experts in carpal tunnel treatment and much more. They have published data on nearly 15,000 patients. Today, there are more than 30 fine doctors and hundreds of professionals who truly care about you and want only the best outcome. Brown Hand Center. The right treatment, the right place. Call for an appointment today.
Here, this is my world. This place inspires me to be tougher, to stay sharper, to think faster. They may be just streets to you, but to me, they're a playground.
In 1944, Bill Bowers heard that the bell from the USS Arizona was to be melted for scrap. Instead, he got it installed back at his alma mater and rang it himself the first time, starting a 50-year Wildcat tradition. And when the new student union opened in 2002, who rang the old bell in the new tower? Bill Bowers, age 99. Fans show their loyalty in all kinds of ways. Ours, just by another Hyundai.
There are over 500,000 apps and counting on the iPhone. Apps that can take you anywhere and do anything. You might say there's no limit to what this amazing device can do. So the question to ask is, why would anyone want to limit the iPhone? We don't. Truly unlimited data for your iPhone, only from Sprint.
It's Pep Boys Million Tire Marathon. Tires from an incredible $29.99. Buy 2, get an oil change free. Buy 3, get the 4th tire free. All brands, all sizes, the lowest prices on tires anywhere guaranteed. Hurry to Pep Boys.
It is one of the great experiences in all of college football. And don't adjust your TV. If you're getting a little dizzy, turn away. But there's nothing like coming to Kyle Field as we look at our Bank of America first quarter numbers.
Well, those minus 20 rushing yards for Kansas really hurting them, and a lot of that was because of that snap over the punter's head. So statistically, Kansas getting hurt, but 13.3 yards per play for A&M's offense. Remember, coming into today's ball game, Kansas's defense, they're 120th in the country out of 120 in scoring and total defense.
Time of possession meant a great deal in the first quarter again. 12 minutes for Kansas, 3 for Texas A&M. Now, first snap of the second. It'll be 2nd and 8. And they bury it in the arms of Miller. Darian Miller, the true freshman from the Kansas City suburb of Blue Springs, Missouri. 3-time first-team All-State at Blue Springs.
And I like what they did, kind of a misdirection. Yes. You see, it was almost a little bit of a delay handing the ball off on the left side, and then they kind of skirted over to the right on a bit of a delay. And I like Damian Miller's explosiveness. Right when he got the ball, he was patient, and then bang, hit the hole. Good stride. Now Christian Matthews back at quarterback, the wide receiver. Had some success with this formation in the first quarter.
It's 3rd, less than a yard. And they're right at the marker. So he gave it off to the running back that time, Darian Miller. And did he get enough? It looks like it, yes. Move the chains.
The only problem that I have with these change-up formations with a different guy handling the snap, Joel, is the fact that he doesn't get to rep it all the time. Christian Matthews doesn't get to rep and handle the football in practice, the zone read all the time. I thought that was a poor read. If he pulls that ball and keeps it himself, he probably gains at least 5, maybe 10 yards. But it's 3rd and short. He's not an experienced quarterback, so he just gives it right away. Good thing that they got the first down anyways.
And bad snap on the ground. It looks like Moore's on top of it. He is DeMontre Moore. The sophomore already had the big hit. So another mistake, self-inflicted by the Jayhawks.
And this is a quarterback mistake. It's not the motion player's fault. Tony Pearson, number 23, is going to go in motion. But it's incumbent upon the quarterback to call for the snap later. You see, he calls for the snap, and he didn't let the motion man get out in front of him. As a quarterback, you've got to know your offense. You got to know your offensive system. You got to get everybody lined up on each and every play. I thought that was a mistake.
So the snap off the shin of Pearson. With Moore on the recovery. And it'll be a little waggle action on the outside. And underthrown, barely underthrown, as he tried to get it to Wachiku. Great play, though. Give Keaston Terry credit for what he did, getting the paw up there.
Let's go back to that last snap, the turnover. Watch Jordan Webb call for the football, and then the motion goes across, and that's when it goes off his left leg. Again, as a quarterback, you got to maintain composure and get everybody lined up.
It'll be Swope. Not enough. And I'm talking about blocks out in front. He only had one man over on that side, Wachiku. Gain of about 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And they have not wasted any field position. In fact, they've got it to the 44 this drive, the 46 their last drive, midfield stripe, and the first drive started in Kansas territory after the good return by Dustin Harris. So they have not wasted any opportunities close to plus territory. Now Tannehill, he can run for it, he'll throw for it, and he's got Swope again, hangs on, puts 2 down, and he's in.
Ryan Swope on the same route that he caught a touchdown earlier in the day, except this time it's a little bit of a double move. The safety's right there, but neither Jayhawk player wraps up. Keaston Terry, number 9, doesn't get his arms around Ryan Swope, and he runs for a touchdown.
Bullock with the point after. Can it get any worse for Kansas?
Every break has gone Texas A&M's way, and they haven't needed it because they've executed better than the Jayhawks anyways.
2 minutes into the second quarter. Little pinball action. Unfortunately, the Jayhawks on the receiving end. Swope with the touchdown.
We got a big home game this week. Everybody's coming over.
To be successful, we need a little coaching.
That's where I come in. Game plan, Coors Light. You're going super cold activated cans. You two are going deep for bottles. Move it, turkeys. Super cold cans need both hands. Come on, man. Hold up. Nose to blue. Go for 2.
When it comes to big refreshment, we could all use a little coaching.
Bring it on, fellas.
Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer.
Coming through. How you doing?
Miners trust the makers of Peak Antifreeze to protect their 600-ton ore haulers from extreme conditions. You can trust Peak Antifreeze's unique formula to help protect your engine from costly repairs. Peak Antifreeze. Protect your ride, no matter what you drive.
Peak Antifreeze. When you peak, you win.
I know the Aggies are going to win. Like every time they win when they get to see my dad.
At Team of Navasota, where you get a nice prize. Like a new Silverado discounted up to $9,000 at Team Chevy.
Nice prize.
Or get a new Chevy Cruze for just $199 a month.
Nice prize.
If you have any questions about buying a vehicle, just go to our website, teamofnavasota.com, and click on Ask Mike. Team of Navasota, we're the home of the nice prize.
Having one of those bad car days? Is your check engine light on? Bring your vehicle in to Pickups Plus. With over 25 years of service, Ray can hear the problem as soon as you drive in. You can trust our trained technicians to diagnose and repair your car quickly at a fair price. With full-service auto repair on all makes and models, including diesel, we are your one-stop fix-it shop. From a simple tire rotation to complete engine rebuild, Pickups Plus is the dealership alternative that will save you time and money.
I pledge to set the bar high, never get comfortable.
To never back down from a challenge. I will always be ready to make winning the standard, not the goal. Because in the Big 12,
every game matters.
30-0 lead already for Texas A&M as we join Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, Joel, a special guest today. Gary Sinise, who played Lieutenant Dan in the movie Forrest Gump. In town, you're a guest of President Bush. What was this all about?
I was here about a year and a half ago at the Bush Library for a screening of a documentary about my band. I do a lot of stuff for the USO. We play all around for the troops and military charities. And when I was there, he invited me back to a game. This is a perfect game for me to be at because I'm on the road all the time in service to our military and trying to help them out.
All right, well, good seeing you. Enjoy the rest of the game. Gary Sinise Foundation also in Well Works. They do a great job helping out military, the families, the first responders. Great guy. Enjoying a good afternoon of football. Joel?
Very talented man. Mora's back. DJ Bashirs is into the game now, and he is their regular return man. So down by 30. The Jayhawks ready to get it back. And one into the wind. It's going to be Bashirs, and what a difference getting to the outside. Good field position finally. The Jayhawks don't start at their own 20 for the first time today. And Joel, looking back on that last one, a little pinball and taking each other out.
Well, I think that this is a result of all the emphasis on the targeting, on hitting players too high, because Keaston Terry, the safety, has an opportunity right there to absolutely blow the play up, dislodge the player from the ball, but all the targeting flags that have come out in the last couple of years with the emphasis on that penalty is forcing defensive players to basically play too cautious. If I'm a defensive coach, I'm going to the rules committee and saying, hey, let's start playing football again.
It's Sims. Looked one way, went the other way. Good recovery. Gain of about 5, maybe 6 at the most. Hunter over there on the coverage, knocking out James Sims, a sophomore from Irving, Texas. Now, a lot of family and friends. We talked about it for a player like Christian Matthews out of Arlington, Texas. There are 38 members of the Jayhawks on the roster from the state of Texas. So a lot of family and friends here in the stands. They make a game of it at least and get involved as the running back shot down once again. And at the bottom, good play by Stephen Terrell.
Early in the game, we saw Kansas throw the ball effectively. Remember, Texas A&M 119th in pass defense in the country, giving up 308 yards. And now with the wind, if Jordan Webb is healthy enough, remember he got his ribs beat up in the first quarter. If he's healthy enough, this is an opportune time to start putting the ball in the air.
He is 10 of 12 passing, 63 yards. Needs 5 to keep the drive alive. Here comes the heat. And looking back over the middle, little comeback. Yes, Pick helped him out. He was right at the boundary, and then resourceful play by Kyle Pick.
It was a great job by Pick. Pick is on basically an out route to start the play, and then he comes all the way back to the inside trying to give his quarterback a target. Remember, Kyle Pick, he started games at quarterback last year. So this guy understands what Jordan Webb is going through, helped his quarterback out on the last play.
Bunch on the short side of the field. Bashirs, man, good play. As he's run out of bounds on that side by Charlie Thomas. But a good game, and you call it almost like a running play. It's a high percentage play. Down to the 48. First and 10 line is brought to you by Mazda. So sustaining the drive. Sims lunging close to the first down. Gets to the 45, shy by a yard. Well, Kansas has been playing better, and we mentioned it in previous weeks. The one game that stood out like this was the loss in Austin, 43-0. Otherwise, they've been fairly competitive recently.
They ran the ball for -2 yards that day in Austin. They've played much better since then, and now back to the Wildcat offense. This is James Sims taking the snap.
3rd and a yard. He'll keep it, and it's a good decision. Charlie Thomas got him, the sophomore from Beaumont. Otherwise, it's a big gain into the secondary. Still got the first down, though, to the 42.
And a good read from the sophomore running back. Good ball handling. He rides Darian Miller all the way in, carrying out that fake, and then he pulls the ball, gets vertical, and moves the chains.
From the 42, their deepest penetration against the Aggie defense. Here comes the heat again, and the push. Webb in double coverage and almost picked off by Trent Hunter. So that was a gamble. He's only a sophomore from Union, Missouri. Sean Porter, though, blew up the pocket completely.
He wants to throw the ball from the pocket, but his own player gets knocked into him. That's number 11, A.J. Stewart. Stewart was going against Sean Porter. That's what forced him out of the pocket. But if he throws that ball on time, he had a wide receiver open at that time.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 42. And there's Porter again, maintaining, shed the block, and just maintaining his position on the edge against Darian Miller.
Came into this game with 12 tackles for loss. Remember, Von Miller, the All-American, was lost, 2nd pick in the draft, but Sean Porter has come in and been very productive, leading sack man in the Big 12 with 8.5, but also disruptive in the run game, getting back there with 12 tackles for loss.
So now 3rd and a dozen. And you talked about it, how important it is for them being here the second quarter to get in on the board, period. Downwind. On the long count. Blitz is picked up, still got it away, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Terrell. Coming up the sideline, Terrell gets a block, and he's got it all the way to the 32. So they got to Webb. Again, he was hit as he released it. And Stephen Terrell, the junior from Allen, Texas, with the interception.
They were trying to go to the slot wide receiver. And Joel, I felt like he was held. Watch the slot wide receiver. And as he's working on the safety, Terrence Frederick over the middle, watch him get held and actually turned right there. And he's not able to go look for the ball. There's no reason a flag shouldn't have been thrown right there. Bad break for the University of Kansas.
Short field again for Texas A&M and Tannehill, as Tannehill has already thrown and gone over the 3,000-yard mark. Cyrus Gray slashing his way to a first down, just going through arm tackles inside the 22, but back to Tannehill. Tannehill came in today needing 89 yards from joining Gerard Johnson as the Aggies' only 2 quarterbacks to throw for 3,000. When you consider he really wasn't a quarterback until 6 games left in last season, that's an accomplishment. So 3,000 plus, and still more football after this one for the Aggies. And who would have believed, as it's complete and taking it in over on that side was Kennedy, who would believe, Joel, coming in game 11, that the Aggies would still try for their 6th win? They're trying to become bowl eligible, don't forget.
They were a top 10 team. They've played like it in several games, and then they've fallen flat on their face in several others. There's no reason why they shouldn't be playing right now for their 10th or 11th victory. They're that good of a ball club. They've been a huge disappointment this year in college football.
Short side blocking, not out in front of Cyrus Gray at that time. We saw it go for a score, and as you mentioned, 4 of their 5 losses came by a total of 14 points.
So think about the Oklahoma State game earlier here at Kyle Field. They had the big 20-point lead, let that slip away. They had the big lead against Arkansas in Dallas in Cowboys Stadium. That slipped away.
And the 2 overtime losses.
2 overtime losses to Missouri and now Kansas State. The only loss that was really a game that they got outplayed in was the game in Norman. They lost to Oklahoma.
Now Tannehill, good pocket protection, and that is a gun to Swope. You talk about arm strength, You know it well.
Wow. Across the field, far hash to the far numbers, and this ball is hyper accurate. Right where it should be for Ryan Swope to have any opportunity to run after the catch. Good balance, and then bang, unloads those hips and gives the ball very accurately to Ryan Swope.
Banging his way, going for the goal line and reaching. Will they give it to him? No. Put him down inside the 1. It was Ben Molina on the carry. Christian Michael is gone for the year. Now here, quickly, they're coming back. It's Cyrus Gray back on the field. He'll get it. He's in. Too easy. But a short field, points off the takeaway, as Steven Terrell came up with the interception.
Been a heavy dose of Cyrus Gray today for Texas A&M. His 3rd touchdown of the day.
6 plays, 32 yards, and less than 2 minutes off the clock. But it's all off the takeaway and the short field.
And the no call. Kale Pick was held. Frederick holds him. They get away with the interception, leads to the touchdown. Aggies up huge, 37-0.
33 years ago, our goal was simple. Build the best vehicles and once a year offer them with special savings. Today, it's an American tradition. Toyotathon is back, and now's the time to get the Toyota you've been waiting for. Get 0 APR on a new 2011 Tundra, plus huge cash back for a total of over $7,800 in savings. And every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a complimentary maintenance plan with roadside assistance. Others have tried to copy it, but in the end, there's only one Toyotathon. The biggest and best sales event of the year is going on now.
Like so many great pioneers before me, guided only by a dream, I'm embarking on a journey of epic proportion. I will travel from sea to shining sea, through amber waves of grey, and I won't stop until I've helped every driver in America save hundreds on car insurance. Well, I'm at the parking lot. That's a good start.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Boring toast. We're giving you a makeover at Sonic. How? Accessories. 100% pure beef patty, grilled onions, cheddar sew-in this year, hickory barbecue sauce highlights, and you look good. Or throw on sautéed portobello mushrooms, Swiss and mayo, and strut it when you've got it. You go, Texas toast. Get the bacon cheddar toaster melt and the mushroom Swiss toaster melt starting at $1.99 each. This is how you Sonic.
Steel owners don't have to worry about their equipment, about the precision piston engineering, high-tech polymer housing, or the advanced carburetor systems. They know the folks at Steel have already thought about
Joel Myers, Joel Klatt, Jim Knox, and the 12th man. Well, Ryan Swope on the receiving end, Cyrus Gray on the ground. 5 touchdowns between the two, 3 belonging to Cyrus Gray on a record-setting day for him. And as Mike Sherman said, it could be a totally different season, but for some reason, they're finding ways not to win games.
Well, they're finding ways to be successful today. He's got to be happy with the way his team is performing. But they have been fortunate. They had the wind at their back in the first quarter. They had great field position, and then the no call on the last interception by Steven Terrell, which ends up giving them great field position. They've turned all those possessions, Joel, into touchdowns.
And they beat themselves to a certain extent in the second half last week to Kansas State, especially in the final drive where K-State got the tying field goal as Bullock kicks it away into the wind. Bashirs will watch it hit out of bounds. A great field position coming up when we come back. Academy Sports and Outdoors game break time, though, with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. Guys.
Joel, we checking on the game. Harvard, Yale, and look, you guys have Cyrus Gray, but we have David Modander. And when the kicker scores in the big game off the trickeration, come on, how good do you feel? Kid went to Exeter, now he goes to Harvard, and he scored in the big game. Come on now, Joel.
You know, Kevin, he's struggled his entire existence is what you're telling me. He's really been, I love it. It's been rough on him.
Isn't that one of the great games in college football?
Yes, it is.
You got to love it.
Been to both campuses. It's tough. They're beautiful. It is Sims cracking it up the gut for about 3 to the 43. So it's a 37-0 lead for Texas A&M. Jared Eddy in on that hit. And I brought up what Texas A&M, because there were some self-inflicted wounds, let's face it, along the way. And especially last week, they had 2 penalties on the drive that tied it up to send it in overtime on the field goal drive. As they wrap up the running back Miller. Not much available at all on the ground game.
And this unit on the field has taken a lot of the heat for this season. An incredibly disappointing season, and the defense hasn't played up to their standards, the point at which they played last year. But remember, they lost Von Miller, number 2 pick in the draft. Coriel Judy has been out most of the season, their best defensive back. Stephen Campbell, a starting safety from last year, he hasn't played a lot this season. They're trying to do this with several new faces in the starting 11.
I want to get back to what you talked about earlier and the way it's been exploited. Ton of time, and what a grab! One hand! Man, Kale Pick. Little Stickum. It looked like it. That was sensational.
That was a strong throw. Remember, the wind is blowing right to left. He goes up one-handed with the left hand and then secures it. Here's the hard part. Secures it before he goes out of bounds. That's a phenomenal catch.
Came in with 27 grabs on the year. Not many Jayhawks, because they have had trouble scoring, have more than 2 or 3 touchdowns. He's got 2 this year. Now here comes the heat. Webb didn't recognize it. Hunter's on top of it. After the takeaway, make it Porter. And I believe John Porter has the football. After the sack by Damontre Moore once again. Porter on the recovery, Moore on the scrape. And it's back. And leaving the pocket, you better protect it.
This is a feel thing for Jordan Webb. He's got to feel the rush right there and protect the football.
So A&M, like they needed it, they get it back. 5:56 left. Kevin Frazier, Marcus Allen in our studio when we come back. A&M has been in Kansas territory on this, their 6th possession of the game, so that personifies the short field. Up 37. Will it be points again off another takeaway? Damontre Moore forced it. Now Gray with a lane over to the left side. And he cruises for about 7, almost 8. A look back on the ball coughed up by Webb.
I talked about recognition. Damontre Moore, number 94, is bearing down on the quarterback Jordan Webb, and the ball was just in one hand. Anytime you're out of the pocket, you want to have 2 hands on that unless you're about ready to pull the trigger. Ball down by the waist, 1 hand, turnover waiting to happen.
Tannehill on the edge and got rid of it in time outside of the pocket to throw it away. But that was good pressure coming up from Tobin Oporum, their best pass rusher.
The former running back, Tobin Oporum. 9.5 tackles for loss on the season. Got away with a little horse collar there. Had Tannehill by the back of the collar right in front of the official. No flag on the play. Fortunate that Tannehill's okay, but good pressure by Oporum.
Tannehill gets rid of it. Only a 2nd miss. He's 10 of 12. And Molina will not get the first down. He is stopped right at the original line of scrimmage.
I love the fight from the Kansas defense. It's the 2nd quarter. They're down 37-0. And on 3rd down after another turnover, what do? They bow their neck and they stop Ben Molina right in the middle of that hole. Now they're going to have an opportunity on 4th down as Tannehill's still on the field.
So they will go for it on 4th and almost 3. Keeps Ben Molina as the tailback. Wide side 3 and off the fingertips of Kennedy. So he's looking for the wide receiver, as the 2nd time he went for Malcolm Kennedy, a redshirt freshman, former high school quarterback. McDougal on the coverage, and the Jayhawks finally get a stop.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has something for everybody on my holiday list.
All at a great price, too.
Husband will love these.
For my wife.
My sister.
My son. I can get this from my uncle.
My dad needs this.
I guess that's everyone.
Just in case.
Wow them with Nike Shox Qualify 2 running shoes. Hot deal $59.99. And Garmin Auto GPS hot deal $139.99.
The right gifts, the low prices every day. Academy.
It is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The greatest honor the band can grant a non-band member. Among the privileged few who have been chosen have been professional athletes, a United States Senator, even Bob Hope. Fortunately, knowing how to play the sousaphone is not a requirement for dotting the I in Script, Ohio. Fans show their loyalty in all kinds of ways. Ours, just buy another Hyundai.
Be right back.
What are you guys doing here?
We're not here. We're figments of your imagination.
You're thinking about all that Rocky Mountain cold refreshment at our tailgate.
Dude, in 3 hours you will be enjoying Coors Light.
I want to get my hands on that can.
Bill!
Hey.
Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Hey! Hey, does this make my butt look big?
It's 10:31 a.m. and they won't serve you breakfast, but I will. I serve my entire breakfast menu all day, so you can get my new jumbo breakfast platter with mini pancakes, scrambled eggs, hash browns, plus bacon or sausage for only $2.99 anytime.
No, 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 no.
Jack, we only see my parents twice a year. Chill out.
So far, it's been kind of a ride in the park for the Aggies of Texas A&M as we look at our Polaris hardest working player with 4:39 left in the half.
Ryan Swope. He has set a single season catch record here at Texas A&M, breaking his own record from a year ago. Now he's got 76 catches. This was a very easy touchdown right over the middle. But his second touchdown, it was a thing of beauty. The toughness, taking on the safety, staying on his feet, and getting the ball into the end zone. That's why Ryan Swope is our hardest working player. I'm sure we'll try to find another award for Cyrus Gray a little bit later. He's close to 100 yards on the day as well. But Ryan Swope, 7 catches, 111 yards, 2 TDs.
New single season record for Texas A&M. Breaking his old mark he shared with Jeff Fuller. Pearson trying to get out on the edge, cut off at the pass. Dropped right away. It's a loss of a yard. So he's put down at the 40. Jonathan Stewart over there on the stop, the inside backer. So Texas A&M trying to pick up their 6th win. And who would have believed that? We talked about it a little bit earlier. But it boils down to this group that's on the field. They couldn't get off the field. And because of the injuries that Joel mentioned in the secondary, they have seen more balls thrown, more passes against this defense than any other defensive unit in the country. Little slant, it works. It's complete for a first down. And Bashirs with one of the best plays of the day.
He was working against Terrence Frederick. And Bashirs, well, I think is Kansas's biggest threat on the outside, just runs a slant. I love his steps on the toes of Terrence Frederick. But from Frederick's standpoint, he can't sit there flat-footed. Poor defensive back play from Texas A&M.
Flags, false start coming up.
Frederick's got to move his feet a little bit. He just stood there stone cold and allowed Bashirs to run right in front of him.
69 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
When we talked to Chuck Long, I asked him about Bashirs because last week he caught 7 passes for 20 yards against Baylor.
That's not a lot of yards for 7 catches.
One of the weirdest numbers you'll ever see for 7 receptions. And Chuck Long said, he started laughing and he goes, you know, there were bubbles that never broke, basically. The little flanker screen.
A lot of screens. They had run-pass options. Right now, though, Christian Matthews back in at quarterback.
Man on the zone read. He gives it to the tailback. They're carrying out their blocks, aren't they? It'll be a personal foul because of those blocks they were carrying out. As the running back, Darian Miller, gets about 4.
Zlatnik, the right guard, number 67. Dwayne Zlatnik was the one blocking after the whistle. Looks like he's going to get called for the personal foul.
After the play, personal foul, number 67 offense, 15-yard penalty, second down.
That's frustration when you're down 37.
Yeah, there's no question about it. The junior from Rossville, Kansas, he's the right guard in your screen, and he's just blocking far too long. Tries to double team. Now he's in a single. And as the running back goes down to the ground, Zlatnik just continues all the way over the pile right in front of the official. Very easy call.
Yeah, he put Eddie Brown over the pile. So the mark-off on the personal foul all the way back to the 45. Screen. Now, will it develop? No. Great play. Open field coming up for the Aggies. Frederick, and that time, great recovery.
This is attention to detail that Kansas has got to have. You can't run the screen too wide. See how the running back is way outside of the pocket? He needs to be back inside of those offensive linemen. That's a true freshman with too fast of a clock. He needs to be patient, sit right behind those offensive linemen, Joel, so that those guys can go out and block guys like Terrence Frederick.
Set up Stewart. As well in the backfield, like a wingback, the tight end. And he's going to get it uncovered. A.J. Stewart. Lassoed again, though, by Terrence Frederick.
It's a good defensive play call from Tim DeRuyter from Texas A&M, sending everyone back to the chains and allowing Kansas and really forcing them to just throw that ball underneath and then rally up and make the tackle on a long third down situation.
A&M calling the timeout to stop the clock and preserve some of the time when they get the football back, as opposed to losing 30 seconds. And they'll still have 2 timeouts on the board. Let's check in once again with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
All right, thank you, Joel. Coming up on the Sprint halftime show, we will check in with Kevin Frazier, Marcus Salas. They'll go over top 25 scores and highlights, also Big Ten scenarios, and a lot more coming up on the Sprint halftime show. Don't miss it. Tell you what, defense right now at Texas A&M, what a job they're doing. Rushing yards for Kansas, guys, minus 11.
They have shut them down, as you mentioned, and they needed it after what's been going on and the yard they've been giving up through the air. Dustin Harris will wait for the punt from Doherty.
Got an uncovered wide receiver at the 50.
Downwind, it should find the end zone, and it will. Yeah, time now as we get ready to wind down the first half with our Brown Hand Center. Great hands of the day.
This one was easy. Joel, Kale Pick on the sidelines. You said it. He's got the stick-em on the left-hand glove and brings it down inbounds. What a catch.
Yeah, but I like what you said when he maintained possession. And he got both feet down. Not one, he got both in.
He did it NFL style.
Yep.
What a tremendous catch from Kale Pick.
So how do they respond to adversity? Because Texas A&M is always starting about midfield. Now they've got it at their own 20. Plenty of time on the clock. Tannehill, little dump off to the tight end Lamont. His first catch as he runs out of bounds. And make it Prelo. In fact, Lamont got the start. Prelo gets the catch, the sophomore from Fort Worth. And is knocked out of bounds. McDougal was over there, as well as the other defensive back, Lubbock Smith.
Hudson Prelo, the coaches have told us, is their best receiving tight end, so no mystery that he's in the game right now in a 2-minute situation. Clearly the ball is going to be in the air.
Please set the game clock to 1:54.
Reset it. We've not seen Randy Bullock on for a field goal try, and he only needs 1 to tie the single season mark for the Aggies. We've already had record sets, a number of them, in the first 30 minutes of play. Second and short. Tannehill again. And boy, talk about a cushion. What's going on down there? The completion for Brandel Jackson, who's getting the reps and the snaps due to the injury to Jeff Fuller. But the D-back was only 10 yards off and then started backpedaling.
Yeah, and Brandel Jackson is going to be benefited by Ryan Swope bringing that outside linebacker and clearing out that pass lane.
So first down to the 43. Wajiku gets out of bounds, stops it at 4. Yeah, the cushions are huge now on the outside, and we saw that one. Barfield not only gave him 10 and started backpedaling away.
In college football, 2 minutes is an eternity. When the clock stops for first downs, you can get out of bounds. They still have 2 timeouts left. You got to play more aggressive if you're Kansas right now. Get in the face of the wide receivers.
Tannehill with good pocket protection. Now flushed out and through the hands of Swope. That was hot, though. I mean, that had some mustard on it.
And I thought Swope was a little bit worried about some of the guys around him. Watch as Brandel Jackson, number 4, is also in the vicinity for Texas A&M, and I think that almost spooked Swope.
Good call. Spacing.
Yes, the spacing of the offense was all screwed up because Ryan Tannehill was outside of the pocket.
It'll be 3rd and 5 outside of the 48. A&M has only had 4 third downs so far. They're usually scoring on 1st or 2nd down. That's the way it's gone. And Jeff Fuller on the field for the first time today, playing with turf toe.
Top of your screen up near the 50-yard line.
Great pocket protection. And it's complete. Making the catch, Nate Askew, the sophomore from San Antonio. So Tannehill moving it around now. Swope was his early favorite.
And again, just a short pass into the short side of the field. That boundary, as quarterbacks call it. You have that hitch into the boundary, go ahead and take it all day long.
Down to the 43. A minute 28 to play. Ben Molina. And a nice open field stop of the middle linebacker, Darius Willis. He transferred from Buffalo to join Turner Gill. He recruited him to play at the University of Buffalo. Turner Gill in his 2nd season at Kansas. In the hurry-up mode now. Man, good throw. Jeff Fuller, but it's got to get there, and there's the pace we talked about. So Jeff Fuller with his first grab, and it's been a tough year for him. He has not been healthy all season long.
No, he is not, but that extends his record streak as far as catches in a game, well over 40. Every single game Jeff Fuller has played, he has caught a pass in his Texas A&M career.
He had a hamstring early in the year, then a concussion against Texas Tech, turf toe over the last few weeks, so he has not been able to stay healthy. And now it's Swope again. Can't bring it in. That would have made it a crazy first half for him. He would have had 3, and Cyrus Gray already has 3.
Normally sure-handed, Ryan Swope let one get away here. The attention goes to Jeff Fuller, as it should. He's a tremendous player. And Swope gets behind the defense. That ball's got to be caught. It was a little bit wobbly. Swope knows it. That's why he stayed on the ground so long. He knew he made a mistake.
2nd and 10. He's only dropped so far. Molina, the only one in the backfield. Man, the bullet wide open. Touchdown. Askew. Breakdown in coverage. Way too easy, Joel.
Way too easy because of a busted coverage in the back end for Kansas. The cornerback just dropped off. This is a full sprint pass, meaning you're going to fake the run play to the same side you're going to roll out, and the corner just let Nate Askew walk right down the sidelines, untouched, wide open for the touchdown.
Bullock with the point after. So it's 44 on the board with 49 seconds left in the half. It was a 9-play drive that took 1 minute and 11 covering 80 yards.
Tannehill's going to be coming right at you. He's not even really looking for Nate Askew, but he pops wide open because the corner blew the coverage for Kansas. And that's an easy touchdown. That was Isaiah Barfield, number 19 for the University of Kansas. And Askew not making any apologies for being wide open on the 5-yard line. Credit Ryan Tannehill for finding him, because a lot of times, Joel, in those rollout passes, the route on the outside is just a clear out route. You're just trying to get the corner and the safety out of there so you can come underneath with all the guys coming from the inside, the tight ends and the slot wide receivers. Tannehill saw something wrong with that picture defensively, knew Nate Askew was open, and found him for the touchdown.
And it's frequently you talk about layering the sections of the field, so you're trying to clear out the deep portion for the underneath. Little do they know.
He's probably never caught that pass in practice ever, because he just clears it out. I mean, he's running a clear out route, the busted coverage. But again, that's where a veteran quarterback like Ryan Tannehill helps you. He recognizes that it does not look right, and he finds Nate Askew for the touchdown.
Ball knocked off the tee. Burley sort of kicker, isn't he? As Bullock, he's not a big guy, he's only 5'9". Backs the wallop, though. Bashir is waiting back deep with Morrow once again. Bashir's north of Dallas and Dent. Keep it down below the wind. And Bashir's from the 15. Slice down. And a good play once again in the open field by Tony Hurd. Are Toyo Tires driven to perform? How about Cyrus Gray's start on a record-setting day for him?
Well, he's only had 9 carries, but I'm going to tell you, he's had 94 yards, and the only reason he doesn't have more is the end zone stopped him. He's already got 3 touchdowns on today's ball game. Some terrific blocking up front, untouched on this little sweep into the short side of the field, and then the gimme after Ben Molina put it inside the 1-yard line. Cyrus Gray punches it in. The guy's been fantastic his whole career, and he's been fantastic again today. 9 rushes for 94 yards.
And it's kind of odd when you think of all the great running backs they've had here at Texas A&M. That Cyrus Gray topping the 1,000-yard mark already today for the season here in the first half, that he's only the 3rd to have consecutive 1,000-yard campaigns.
And that's why he's so underrated. No one talks about Cyrus Gray across the country as being one of the better backs in this country. I know he was splitting time with Christine Michael, who again is injured and will miss the remainder of the season, Joel, but this guy, 3rd all-purpose yards in Big 12 history, heck of a player.
Webb out of the wing as he finds Sims. Not much available, though, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down with 14 seconds left. Lionel Smith forcing him out.
The reason you're not seeing a smile on Mike Sherman's face is all those second-half leads that he's seen disappear. He's going to want this Texas A&M team to come out with all guns blazing in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
And we'll talk about what's happened to them in the 3rd, in the second half, and it's taken away. Damontre Moore off the edge, and it is covered by Kansas. That is a break for the Jayhawks once again. It was Damontre Moore. Marquise Jackson covered it. Otherwise, even a field goal try on the change of possession. Instead, it's the end of the half with total domination by Texas A&M. Halftime couldn't come soon enough for the Jayhawks. So their last road game of the season. Neutral site next week with Missouri at Arrowhead as we head downstairs to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Joel. Coach, complete domination on both sides of the football. Right now going into halftime, over 300 total yards in offense. Cyrus Gray, Ryan Smoot getting the job done.
Well, there's always 2 halves of football. We've learned that, and we got to play a great second half. We allowed them a couple of 3rd down conversions. 3rd and long, we had them in a great situation, and they converted. We got to be shore up our pass defense there and get a better pass rush. I don't think we're rushing the quarterback as well as we can. Offensively, the run game's been going and mixing up the run and the pass, so we'll see what happens in the second half.
Thank you, Coach. Halftime in College Station. It's all Texas A&M, 44-0. Coming up next, Sprint Halftime Show with Kevin Frazier and Marcus Allen. Right after this quick timeout. Stay with us.